Two bikers were buried alive in a frozen Louisiana forest, left to die by men who deal in human souls. A 9-year-old girl found them with minutes to spare. But when the killers came back to finish the job, the dying biker grabbed her hand and whispered, "Pretend I'm your dad." What happened in the next 60 seconds defied every odd, shattered every expectation, and proved that sometimes the scariest-looking men have the biggest hearts. This is the true story of the night Nicole Bergeron became family. Before we dive into this unbelievable true story, where are you watching from? Drop your city in the comments right now. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button because we share stories of real American heroes every single week. Now, let's get into what happened on that frozen February night in Louisiana. The cold came first, then the weight. Maz Corvino couldn't feel his fingers anymore, the ones clawing upward through 18 inches of frozen Louisiana soil. Each scrape of his fingernails against half-frozen mud sent white-hot lightning through his hand, but he kept digging. Had to, because 6 feet to his left, Ken wasn't moving anymore. How long has it been? 2 hours, 3. Time disappeared when you're buried alive. The storm howled above ground, a freak winter blast that turned the bayou into a tundra. Snow in New Orleans, end-of-the-world weather, the kind that makes God laugh. Or maybe that was just Blade laughing. Maz could still hear it echoing in his skull. 48 hours earlier. The run should have been simple. New Orleans to Baton Rouge. Club business, nothing fancy. Just Maz and Ken on their bikes, the rumble of their Harleys drowning out everything else. The smell of diesel and Mississippi River water, freedom on 2 wheels. Maz was 44, built like a brick wall with a gray-streaked beard and the iron Brotherhood patch on his back. The one he earned dragging 3 brothers out of a warehouse fire in '09. Ken Knuckles Dalton rode beside him, 38, quieter, sharper, the club's treasurer and strategist, the thinking man's biker. Neither of them scared easy. But everyone has enemies. Highway 51 stretched empty ahead of them when the pickup trucks appeared, 2 of them blocking the road. Maz's gut tightened. He knew those colors before he saw them. "Bayou Reapers." "We got company," Ken's voice crackled through the helmet radio. "I see 'em." The Reapers dealt in things the Iron Brotherhood wouldn't touch. Human cargo, meth labs, things that made your soul rot. Maz and the Brotherhood had shut down 2 of their operations last year. Apparently, they remembered. The trucks forced them off the road. Into the woods, 6 Reapers, baseball bats, tire irons. A psychopath named Vince Blade Thibodeaux leading the charge with a crowbar that had seen too much blood. The beating was methodical, professional, ribs cracking, teeth shattering, blood turning the snow pink. "You wanted to be legends?" Blade sneered, standing over Maz's broken body. "Now you'll be ghosts." They dragged them deeper into the woods, an abandoned logging road no one used anymore. Started digging. Shallow graves, just deep enough. Blade's face was the last thing Maz saw before the dirt started falling. That twisted grin, those dead eyes. "Sleep tight, hero." Now, Maz's hand broke through the surface. Air, freezing, brutal air, but air. He gasped, sucking it in like a drowning man. His arm followed, then his head, dirt cascading off his face. The world was white, nothing but snow and skeletal trees and gathering darkness. He turned his head, pain exploding through his neck, and saw Ken's hand, barely visible, not moving. Ken. Nothing." Maz pulled himself up inch by agonizing inch. His left leg was shattered. He could feel the bone grinding. Didn't matter. He crawled to Ken's grave, started digging with his bare hands. "Come on, brother, don't you quit on me." Ken's face emerged, blue-lipped, eyes closed. "Not breathing." No. Then Maz heard it. Footsteps. Crunching through the snow. Small footsteps. His head snapped up, and through the swirling white he saw her. A little girl, 9 years old maybe, denim jacket, terrified eyes. Staring right at him. And behind her in the distance, headlights. Coming closer. Mom. Nicole's voice disappeared into the white. The snow swallowed everything, sound, light, hope. She couldn't see more than 10 feet ahead, and her mom's footprints were already filling in with fresh powder. She said 5 minutes, it's been longer. Nicole Bergeron was 9 years old, riding in a beat-up 08 Honda Civic with duct tape holding the passenger mirror on. They were driving from Lafayette to Hammond, to Grandma's house, when the engine just died, middle of nowhere. Highway 51, which wasn't really a highway anymore, just a forgotten stretch of cracked asphalt and roadside memorials. Her mom, Sarah, worked double shifts at Lafayette General. Nurse, single mother, doing her best with what God gave her, which wasn't much. The Honda was proof of that. "Stay in the car, baby," Sarah had said, pulling on her thin coat, the one with the broken zipper. "I'm going to walk to find help." But that was 15 minutes ago, maybe 20. And Nicole was scared. What if she doesn't come back? The door creaked open. Cold hit her like a slap. Nicole stepped out into the storm, her sneakers, Walmart clearance, 2 sizes too big, sinking into 4 inches of snow. "Mom." "Nothing." She followed the footprints. Left foot, right foot, stumbling. The wind cut through her denim jacket like it wasn't even there. Her teeth chattered, tears froze on her cheeks. Then the footprints vanished. No. Nicole spun in a circle, panic rising in her chest. The woods pressed in from all sides, skeletal trees and shadows, and the kind of silence that makes you hear your own heartbeat. "Mom, please." She stumbled forward deeper into the trees, crying now. Lost, alone, freezing. That's when she saw it. A hand. Fingers. Breaking through the snow. Nicole's scream tore through the forest. "Help, someone help." The fingers moved, curled, reaching. Then another hand, 15 feet away, clawing upward through the frozen ground. A voice rose from beneath the earth, rough, desperate, barely human. "Kid, please, don't run." Nicole's legs locked. She should run. She should turn around and sprint back to the car and hide and pray. But something in that voice, some raw animal need, kept her frozen in place. Who are you?" "Someone who needs help, real bad." The first hand scraped more dirt away. A face emerged, swollen, bruised, caked in frozen mud and blood. A man, older, beard matted with ice, eyes wild with pain and fear. "What happened?" Nicole whispered. "Bad men," Maz rasped, his breath coming in white clouds. "Really bad men." 15 feet away, the other hand went still. Nicole looked between them. Is he dead?" "Not yet, but he will be if..." A sound cut through the storm. An engine. Headlights appeared in the distance, cutting through the trees. Getting closer. Maz's eyes went wide with terror. "Kid, listen to me very carefully. Those men are coming back, and if they find you here..." The headlights swept closer. 2 trucks, maybe 3. Nicole's hands started shaking. "Run," Maz whispered. "Run and don't." "No," the word came out harder than she expected. Nicole dropped to her knees and started digging. "I'm not leaving you." "Kid, you don't understand." "I understand you're gonna die if I run." Her small hands tore at the frozen earth, fingernails breaking, but she didn't stop. Couldn't stop. The engines grew louder. Closer. And then a voice, cold, amused, cut through the night. Well, what do we have here?" Nicole's hands were numb, her fingernails cracked and bleeding, but she kept digging. She freed Maz's shoulders, felt the leather of his vest, soaked through with ice and blood. Then she scrambled to Ken. "I have to get help," she gasped, her breath coming in white clouds. "I'll run back to the road." "No," Maz's voice cut through the storm like a blade, sharp, final. Nicole froze, but... "You run, you're dead." Maz was pulling himself up, inch by agonizing inch, his face twisted in pain. "They're watching the road. They see a little girl out here alone, they'll know someone found us." The headlights were closer now, close enough that Nicole could hear the diesel engines idling. the crunch of boots on snow. How many of them are there? Then what do I do? Nicole's voice cracked. She was 9 years old and she was so scared her whole body shook. Maz looked at Ken. Something passed between them, no words, just a look. The kind of silent communication that only comes from years riding side by side. Ken managed the smallest nod. Listen to me, sweetheart. Maz's voice softened, and for a second Nicole saw something in his eyes that looked almost gentle. You see that bike over there? He nodded toward the tree line. Nicole followed his gaze and saw it, a Harley, chrome and black, lying on its side, half buried in snow. Those men, the ones who did this, they're coming back to make sure we're dead. When they do, you're gonna be standing right here with me. What? You're gonna pretend I'm your dad. Nicole stared at him. The words didn't make sense. None of this made sense. I don't understand. Ken, barely conscious, his lips blue with cold, managed to speak, his voice a rasp. He means, you're our cover, kid, you're lost, we found you, we're helping you, that's the story. A truck door slammed, voices carried through the trees, rough, laughing. They're coming. Maz grabbed Nicole's hand. His grip was weak, but it was there, real, solid. You stick to that story no matter what they say, no matter how scary they look. Can you do that? Nicole looked at his face, beaten, bloodied, barely recognizable. Then she looked at Ken, slumped against a tree, barely breathing. These men were strangers, bikers, the kind of people her mom always told her to stay away from. But they needed her. And something in Maz's eyes, something fierce and unbreakable, made her believe. Okay, she whispered. Good girl. Maz tried to stand, using the tree for leverage. His left leg buckled immediately. He gasped, nearly went down. Nicole caught him, her small hands gripping his arm. I got you, she said. The headlights swept across them, engines revving, getting louder. Maz's hand found her shoulder. Remember, you're my daughter. No matter what happens, you're my little girl. Got it? Got it. The trucks broke through the tree line. 6 men climbed out. Leather, patches, cold eyes, the smell of cigarettes and motor oil, and something darker, something that made Nicole's stomach turn. The leader stepped forward, tall, thin, a scar running from his eye to his jaw. He held a crowbar in one hand, tapping it against his palm. He smiled when he saw Maz standing. Well, I'll be damned, Corvino. You're harder to kill than I thought. Maz said nothing, just pulled Nicole closer. The man's eyes shifted, locked onto her. Who's the kid? She's mine. Maz's voice didn't waver. His hand tightened around Nicole's, cold, trembling, but there. She squeezed back, feeling his pulse through his palm, fast, too fast. Blade stood 10 feet away, the crowbar still tapping against his leg. Behind him, 5 Reapers fanned out, their patches catching the headlights, a grinning skull with a rattlesnake coiled through the eye sockets. The Bayou Reapers, men who'd sold their souls so long ago they'd forgotten they ever had them. Yours, Blade's laugh was sharp, brittle, like broken glass. Corvino, you don't have a kid. I do now. The wind howled. Snow whipped between them, turning the forest into a ghost world. Nicole could smell them, cigarettes and whiskey and old leather, the stink of violence. Blade stepped closer. His boots crunched on the frozen ground. Nicole's heart hammered against her ribs. Don't look away, don't run. That's so. Blade crouched down, bringing his scarred face level with hers. His breath reeked. What's your name, little girl? Nicole's voice shook, but she answered, Nicole. Nicole what? Maz cut in before she could speak. Nicole Corvino, my daughter. She was with her mom when we went down. Car broke down a mile back. She came looking for me. Blade's eyes, dead shark eyes, flicked between them, calculating, searching for the lie. Convenient story. It's the truth. Behind Blade, a massive man stepped forward, 6'5", maybe 300 pounds of muscle and meanness. Tucker. Nicole had heard enough whispered conversations to know that name meant pain. Boss, Tucker growled, cracking his knuckles. We can't just leave witnesses, especially a kid. Oh God, they're going to kill us. Blade considered this. The storm howled around them, turning the world white and gray and cold. Nicole felt Maz's hand tighten on her shoulder, protective, final. Then she did something she didn't plan. Something stupid. Something brave. She stepped in front of Maz. "You're bad men," Nicole said. Her voice was tiny, but it cut through the wind. "My dad told me about men like you." The forest went silent. Even the storm seemed to hold its breath. Blade blinked, then he laughed, a genuine, surprised sound. "Your dad, huh? And what did he tell you?" Nicole's hands were shaking, but she didn't move. "He said some men are so broken inside that they hurt people to feel strong, but they're not strong." She paused, met Blade's dead eyes. "They're cowards." No one moved. Tucker's hand drifted toward the pistol on his hip. Another Reaper shifted his weight, boots crunching snow. Behind her, Nicole heard Ken groan, barely conscious, but awake enough to know they were all about to die. Maz wasn't breathing. But Blade didn't pull his gun. Not yet. Instead, he stayed crouched, studying Nicole like she was some rare, exotic creature he'd never seen before. When he spoke, his voice was almost soft. "You got guts, kid, I'll give you that." His eyes lifted to Maz. "You raised her right, Corvino." He stood slowly, the crowbar dangling from one hand. "Shame she's gonna grow up without a father." His other hand moved to his belt. Drew his pistol. Raised it. Aimed it at Maz's head. Nicole screamed, "No." She threw herself at Blade, all 70 pounds of her, fists flying, hitting his chest, his arms, anything she could reach. "Don't you touch HIM, don't you." Blade shoved her aside, not hard but hard enough. Nicole hit the snow, the breath knocked from her lungs. Maz lunged forward, broken leg and all, reaching for her. "You son of a..." The pistol swung toward him. And then, cutting through the storm like the voice of God himself. Sirens. Multiple sirens. Getting closer. Blade's head snapped toward the road. "What the..." Tucker was already running to the trucks. "Boss, cops, state police, I count 5 units." Red and blue lights flashed through the trees. Blade's face went white. And from the direction of the road, stumbling through the snow, came a woman's voice, desperate, terrified, screaming. "Nicole, Nicole, where are you?" The sirens tore through the night like salvation itself. Red and blue lights strobed through the trees, painting the snow in colors that meant hope. Blade's pistol was still raised, still aimed at Maz's head, but his hand had frozen mid-pull. "What the hell?" Tucker was already sprinting toward the road, his boots kicking up snow. He skidded to a stop at the tree line, looked back, his face ghost-white in the headlights. "Boss, state police, 5 units, maybe 6. Hell..." Blade's mind was racing. They'd been careful, covered their tracks. No one knew about this spot, no one except the Reapers and the 2 dead men who were supposed to stay buried. Except they weren't dead anymore. The answer stumbled into the clearing 30 seconds later. An ICOLE. A woman, thin, exhausted, wearing a nurse's scrubs under a broken zipper coat, burst through the trees. 2 Louisiana state troopers flanked her, their hands on their service weapons, eyes scanning the scene. Nicole tore herself from Maz's grip and ran. "Mom." Sarah Bergeron dropped to her knees, catching her daughter, sobbing into her hair. "Baby, oh God, baby, I thought." The lead trooper stepped forward. Sergeant Ray Fontenot, 50-something, weathered, the kind of cop who'd seen everything twice. His eyes swept the clearing, 6 armed bikers, 2 men who looked like they'd been through a meat grinder, 1 little girl. His hand moved to his sidearm. "Everybody stay where you are." Blade lowered his pistol slowly, forcing a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Officer, we were just..." "Shut up," Fontenot's voice could cut steel, his eyes locked on Maz. "You all right, sir?" Maz nodded barely. "Better now." Sarah was crying, holding Nicole like she'd never let go. "I found help, a ranger station 2 miles back. I told them my daughter was lost in the woods and they called." Fontenot's radio crackled to life. "Sergeant, we got an APB on those bikes. Bayou Reapers, wanted for questioning in a trafficking case out of Baton Rouge." The forest went still. Blade's smile died. His hand twitched toward the pistol still hanging at his side. Don't do it." Fontenot saw it too. His weapon cleared leather in one smooth motion. "Well," he said, his voice flat, final. "Looks like you boys are coming with us." Tucker moved, just a half step, just enough. 3 more troopers emerged from the trees behind him, shotguns raised. "Don't even think about it," one of them growled. For 5 seconds, nobody breathed. The Reapers were outnumbered, outgunned, but cornered men do stupid things, desperate things. Blade's fingers curled around the pistol grip. Maz pulled Nicole behind him, his broken body shielding hers. And then Blade smiled, a real smile this time, cold and sharp. "You know what, Sergeant?" Nicole's voice cut through the lie like a knife. "He's lying," he raised his hand slowly. "I think there's been a misunderstanding." Fontenot didn't lower his weapon. "That's so." "Yeah, see, we were just helping these folks, good Samaritans." He gestured toward Maz and Ken. "Found them on the side of the road, car trouble, we stopped to help." Nicole's voice cut through the lie like a knife. "He's lying." The beeping was the first thing Maz heard, steady, rhythmic, alive. He opened his eyes to white ceiling tiles and fluorescent lights that burned. Lafayette General Hospital, the smell of antiseptic and cheap coffee. His ribs were wrapped tight, his left leg in a cast. Ken was in the bed next to him, breathing through an oxygen mask. "We made it." Down the hall in a small interview room that smelled like stale vending machine sandwiches, Detective Linda Ortiz sat across from Nicole. Sarah held her daughter's hand while Nicole told the story, all of it. The buried men, the Reapers, the lie that saved their lives. "Why did he tell you to say you were his daughter?" Ortiz asked, her pen hovering over her notepad. Nicole thought about it, really thought. "I think he was protecting me. If they thought I was family, they couldn't hurt me without hurting him. And he was already hurt bad, so he made himself my dad." Ortiz wrote this down, shaking her head. 23 years on the force, and she'd never heard anything like it. Sergeant Ray Fontenot appeared in Maz's doorway an hour later. No uniform now, just jeans and a Saint's jacket. Off-duty, human. "Hell of a thing you did out there," he said. Maz shrugged, wincing as his ribs screamed. "Didn't have much choice." "You could have told her to run, could have saved yourself the trouble." "And let her get caught by those animals," Maz's voice hardened. "Not a chance." Fontenot nodded slowly. "For what it's worth, you did right." He turned to leave, but stopped when he saw them. Nicole and Sarah, standing in the doorway. "Mr. Maz." Maz looked up, and something in his chest, something that had been hard and cold for years, cracked just a little. Nicole crossed the room carefully, mindful of the tubes and wires. She hugged him, gently, like he might break. "Thank you for being my pretend dad." Maz's throat tightened. His hand found her head, patted it softly. "Anytime, kiddo, anytime." Sarah was crying. Fontenot looked away. And then Ken's monitor started screaming. Ken's monitor flatlined for 8 seconds before the nurses brought him back. Close call, too close. But he survived. They both did. The Bayou Reapers weren't so lucky. Blade and his crew faced federal charges, attempted murder, kidnapping, racketeering. The investigation tore through their operation like a blowtorch, uncovering trafficking routes across Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas. 37 arrests, 14 indictments. The Reapers were done. The Iron Brotherhood MC issued a statement, rare for them, thanking Nicole Bergeron for her bravery and the Louisiana State Police for their response. "Sometimes heroes come in the smallest packages," the statement read. 1 month later, on a clear Saturday morning, two Harleys rumbled up to a small house in Lafayette. Maz and Ken, healed, scarred, alive, cut their engines. Nicole was outside before they even knocked. "You came." Maz grinned, pulling something from his saddlebag, a leather jacket, child-sized, custom-made, on the back stitched in silver thread, Honorary Iron Brotherhood. He held it out. "For you, kiddo." Sarah appeared in the doorway, saw the jacket, and started crying. Nicole slipped it on. It fit perfectly. She spun around, beaming. "Does this mean I'm a biker now?" Maz crouched down, meeting her eyes. "It means you're family." Behind him, Ken nodded. Other brothers, 4 more bikes, pulled up, engines rumbling like thunder. Nicole, the little girl who'd been lost and terrified in a frozen forest, digging through snow with bleeding hands, now stood tall, wearing colors, surrounded by protectors. Blood makes you related, but loyalty makes you family. If you believe that real heroes don't always wear badges, sometimes they wear leather and ride Harleys, then like and share this story with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe now for more true stories of American protectors who stand up for the innocent. Also, check out the 2 videos showing on your screen right now, specially crafted for you.